Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Always Forward podcast, and this one's a little bit different. We're on the road, man, and I've got my good friend Matt from Epic Roll. Welcome.
Thank you, my friend.
And Tyler.
Always a pleasure.
You like these things, don't you?
They're a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were just talking about how we have never done cocaine. Well, I have never done cocaine.
2 of 3.
But you were saying you actually, we'll get into real serious stuff here, but this is just super funny. So you just got offered cocaine as an adult?
As an adult.
How did that feel?
It felt like my parents were going to find out and I was going to get
Still,
grounded.
at 41 years old, you're like.
Still was like, oh, God, but what if Dad finds out, you know? It was. I didn't know how to react. I was kind of like, cool. So cocaine then, okay. And I just, I was like, I'm all set.
I think I'm good.
Yeah, I had an orange and I'm all, a multivitamin. I'm good.
Was that because you had just microdosed mushrooms?
It was not that. It was this, to be honest, it's this fentanyl thing. Like people have told me,
good
you know what I mean?
Point.
That's what it is,
really
bro.
good point.
I don't know what's in that. I don't know. I'm not going to like do cocaine. You know what I mean? Like it's not going to be like a thing that I just do in my life. So the idea of trying it once, I was like, okay, whatever. But when this fentanyl thing, I was like, I don't want to do it that much because have you seen what amount of fentanyl like kills like a hippo?
Bro, it's like, it's killing kids. It's killing all kinds of people.
All kinds of, all the actors, so many people. Not worth it.
Like, let's be real. This is not the 80s, right? Like you're not getting pure cut Colombian, powder. You know what I mean? This is some
homegrown baking flour. Who even knows?
Hey, I don't know, but I've heard you can order test strips on Amazon. I'm just saying.
Maybe. This guy knows about the test strips.
I'm just throwing it out there.
That might be a thing.
No.
Well,
Next time, just bring out your test strips and be like,
excuse me.
let me test the potency of this.
Before I do a line off of this urinal, I'm gonna test it real quick.
So can you tell me what position that you put yourself in at 41 years old that they're offering you cocaine?
Great question.
I'm a dad, right? So it's like
it was a jiu-jitsu tournament that I went to, like that I'm now not going to be able to go to the second one because my wife will hear this. She'll be like,
let me guess, Jeff Glover?
Yeah, well, he was there. Shout out to Jeff Glover.
Anyways, man, so thanks for your patience. We had some technical difficulties as per anything with technology. But dude, so what an awesome freaking day, man.
It's been amazing.
Yeah, so we drove up here and immediately got just I don't even know what happened really.
It was assault.
It like pretty much assault. Like I'm pretty sure I could like file a report or something, right? So we went to Silverback Academy with your professor, Sean. What's the last name? Stoopman. Guys, let me tell you right now. I don't care who you are. You think you know jiu-jitsu, go train there. You got some freaking pipe hitters at this place.
It's the real deal, man. Never an easy day there.
And this was like the D squad. Is what
I brought just the D squad for you guys, No, these guys are killers.
Big Dick
man.
Squad is what that stood for.
Yeah.
So, no-gi is an interesting thing because you never know who you're getting. You know what I mean?
You don't. You got to have a lot of trust in the people, but you don't know if you're going to get some spazzy guy that's just going to.
Well, I was telling him, I'm never a dick, like full out dick. My wife says that I'm an asshole, but I'm never like a dick on the mats. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I want to train. I want to train. I want to have a good time and get better and push it, but I'm never just going to just be a straight asshole. But with no-gi, it's like if you don't know somebody, I was telling him, I was like, that could be a white belt. If you come in hot, you're just like ruining that guy's life. You know what I mean? But then again, you don't want to go too soft and then like get, which is I feel like what happened today. So my question is, if you could get, other than Sean, what would you say the belts were today, Tyler? Did you roll with everybody?
I don't think I got everybody.
I got everybody but one.
I think I missed maybe 2.
Okay. So what would you guess?
I mean, they all had to be No one was under a purple belt.
You don't think?
There's no way.
Do you want me to tell you?
Yeah, tell me.
Saeed, my brother-in-law, blue belt.
I did not roll with him.
He's the only one guy I didn't roll with.
Sean, other Sean, smaller guy, purple belt. Shane, who was the older guy. Is he a blue belt? Blue belt.
What?
I didn't roll with him either.
He was like Fred. He felt just like Fred.
Nice.
Yeah.
Troy, brown belt. And then Cam is blue belt. But he just moved up to the
Here's the thing.
position.
I already kind of knew because he's messaged me on Instagram, and I saw he was a blue belt. I'm like, bullshit. You're a sandbagging blue belt that's going out competing and hurting people's feelings. Because I rolled with him, dude. That ain't a blue belt.
It's so funny, man, because he started with me over at the other school.
Yeah.
And when I was forcefully ejected, I said, bro.
I can't wait to talk about that, by the way. But keep going.
I it was important to bring him.
Matt got kicked out of academy.
Can you believe that shit?
Yeah.
And
you're a scuzzball. That's why.
Well, that's what it is. It's, bringing him along and just seeing the way that he excelled at that gym was incredible. To get him to this point, because he's in an environment now that
he's a competitor.
Yeah,
that dude's a competitor, straight up.
Well, he was like 20-something year wrestler.
Well, that makes sense.
This isn't just his first.
That
rodeo.
makes sense.
Yeah. He's like long-term, like lifelong high level wrestler, and so when you add in a nice little jiu-jitsu,
little sprinkle,
sprinkle in that jiu-jitsu, that's a healthy combination. So he's killing it now.
And what about John?
Awesome. John is a purple belt.
Purple belt.
Yep. So
I think that's everybody, right? Just about.
Yeah.
So it was a pipe. You brought a pipe hitting squad in there.
Those guys, it's interesting, though, because we have a lot of people. I think if you really trust the process and are just there and go through the motions and show up, it forces you to get better. Everybody has their own journey and how accelerated that is. But in general, the way in which we learn, I think, is critical to the advancement of people's jiu-jitsu. I think that's what sets it apart from a lot of other schools is we spend time in these modalities and in these systems. So we walk away from them really understanding a whole lot more about them than just arbitrarily training them one day and going from like ankle lock to triangle choke to rear naked choke and not having really any sequential,
flow
from one to the
It was good, man. I always like training at other locations, man. You always get something out. But and then I rolled with your professor Sean, and I was like, what the fuck are we doing? What am I doing? What is this?
It's crazy.
And then I looked over at Mark after he got done, and he just looked at me like, why would you tell me to do this?
I questioned 12 years of my life.
I know. Dude, you're not alone, man. This was literally my life when I joined that school, and I was just like, what is
Do you roll
happening?
with him every day? Every like
not every day, but often. And we have now almost 10 black belts there, and
we got to start coming up here.
We have a lot of brown. Yeah. I mean, on an average day, like you might have a noon class. I mean, there's usually 3 to 5 black belts there.
At a lunch class?
Oh yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's
and then when handing out ass whoopings
too. Well, and then when I think it's a lot of the culture that Sean has created within that school that really everybody's very chill and cool, and there's
it's great.
There's such an absence of ego there, and Sean doesn't mind if we go train other players. I have a lot of friends that are black belts in the area that run schools, and so I like to go and cross-train and visit them, and there's no issue with that at all, and everybody's very welcome to come to our gym, and so I think because maybe he has a level of confidence in the product, that comes through, and then in the culture there, it's phenomenal. And I feel very grateful to be there because honestly, with 16 years of training jiu-jitsu, I have context in training different academies and different areas. And so I tell people that are just starting out in this school, like, you don't know how fortunate you are. My brother-in-law, Cam, some of these guys are much better blue belts, than I was at that time. Their level of knowledge of jiu-jitsu is much higher than I was because it's evolved so much since I even started. So it's such a huge benefit for them to learn these
that's
systems.
what you're saying all the time. Like from when you started to now is like it's a different.
So different, right?
It's a
Whole
different
different animal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And how does that feel like, especially at your guys' level, like with things changing so much? Do you feel the need to? I guess it's with anything, right? As things change, you have to educate yourself, or you're just going to be left behind.
Yeah, and there are people that I know that have come over and are completely in the dark when it comes to legs, and they don't train that. That's just like not a thing that they do. And even if you have,
So they get their lunch money stolen
completely.
But
Well, they do when they go to other schools. When they come to schools like ours, like there's a lot of schools that don't train it, but in my opinion, it's a relevant and pretty large portion of jiu-jitsu nowadays. So by ignoring it, you're sort of just, you're kind of pretending to yourself, because the second you go against somebody who knows how to attack your legs, if you don't know at least the defenses, do you know what I mean? You don't have to be a leg hunter, but at least understand the different, the escapes and positional, aspects of it, to where you can at least be, efficient with your defenses. I think, yeah, you definitely get left in the dark.
Why would you ignore 50% of the body?
Why would you? Didn't Dean Lister tell us that, if he taught us anything? Yeah.
So where are you from?
I was born and raised in Southern California. So I was born in LA, and then I grew up in Simi Valley. I lived in Thousand Oaks. And
Is that back when it was cool?
God, in the 80s, bro, when California was awesome.
That had to have been rad, actually.
It was awesome. California in the 80s was the shit, man. It really was great.
Arnold was rolling around there, lifting weights.
In Muscle Beach.
You know what I mean?
It was great, bro. It was fantastic. I used to walk home from school in like 5th grade, like a decent amount. Never got picked up in a white van. It was great. It was awesome.
So wait a minute, does that happen regularly?
Yeah, I feel like nowadays, I don't know. I feel like, and I was safe. It was a good time. It was a good time. And so I, growing up like 30 minutes from Malibu, I was somewhat privileged with that lifestyle and just enjoying that.
We were kind of talking about that earlier at the gym, I think, or at dinner or whatever. But we were talking about like how blessed we were to experience the 80s as children.
Completely.
Completely. It's just a different world. I just did a podcast with my mom, actually, and we were talking about kind of like my criminal history and how how I was raised and us moving around all over the place. And we were talking about how basically, like, if you really lay out my childhood, it's like a mix between like Stand By Me and Sandlot.
Really?
Like that was my childhood, pretty much.
Yeah.
That was it. And how fortunate it is. So that's pretty wild. So when did you leave Cali?
Right around middle school. We moved to Arizona for a year.
Yuck.
Yeah. We had a pool. I don't know.
Well, you have to. You're gonna die.
Yeah, it was a prerequisite. And then my dad got another job. We kind of moved around a decent amount too. People are like, "Are you in the military?" We were not. It was just my dad was in construction and went around with different companies and got better opportunities, and so that landed us out in Virginia, where I went from like Malibu Beach to cows being in the yard. And so it was a little bit of a culture shock.
How old were you?
It was like right before high school.
Yeah, how did that go?
Yeah, it was whatever.
Did you get in trouble? You started getting in trouble?
I didn't. I kept kind of to myself. I kind of got along with everybody. I played music, my whole life, played in bands. And
you were that kid.
Yeah, man, I'm sitting inside just eating pizza, playing my guitar, So I played music, played in bands, and yeah, it was fine. It was an adjustment. Listen, this area is a great area to, raise a family and have some normalcy, and so there are marketable aspects of it, but it just gets, there's a lot more out there to see. It gets tough when you spend so much time,
So you've been here the whole time?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I've been here. Like I joke about, California. People are like, "Where are you from?" And I say California. My wife is always like, like you're from here. Like you've lived here long enough that you need to.
You've been here
this.
longer than you were in California.
Yeah, but that's bullshit. I don't want to talk about it.
Sorry.
Yeah, no,
Sorry.
it's true. It is true. And again, a lot of good things have come from being in this area for sure. But I almost feel like this area has run its course a bit. There's some other areas call them a name.
Florida's looking really good.
It's looking really good.
Am I right, Tyler?
I'm there with you. Let me know when.
I hope that the next podcast is down in Florida. Let's just say that.
Or we can just make that happen.
We could,
we can just make that happen.
Yeah.
So you graduated school, go to college?
I went to college I went to college for 1 year, and I didn't do so well. Just partied and didn't go to class and wasn't
Save yourself so much money.
Oh yeah. If you're going to be a doctor,
I like it. I like that you only did a year, because I already know a little bit of where the story's going of your life and success and failures and this and that. And the fact that you didn't go to college or didn't finish college makes it even better.
Oh yeah, no. Did a little community college. Pretty sure I didn't do too well there either, But I started working when I was like 13, you know, like doing paper routes and then working in restaurants. I have had a job since I was 13, always worked, always. It was, and I don't know, maybe that's part of that like work ethic that we got a little bit from when we grew up.
That time.
Yeah. I don't know. It just seemed like a normal thing to do.
Check this out. You guys will both like this. So I take Dimitri, my son, on a little Jeep ride. Like I take the Jeep. I got a 1985 CJ7.
Nice.
I don't know, 5. I don't remember. It's like a box, dude.
Yep.
You're driving a tractor. Like anything over 55, you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's got no doors. It's old, and he just loves the Jeep. So we take him on a Jeep ride. I come back, pull into the driveway. There's 4 kids in my driveway. They've already knocked on the door. Nobody was home, or Allie was just doing whatever. She ignores the door most of the time, and so they're coming back down. And I pull up, and they've got these pieces of paper, and it's like basically a service list. Everything, it's like written by somebody that's like 5 years old or 6 years old. It's all misspelled. You can't read half of it, but it's like this $5, this $10. 1 dog this, 2 dogs this. And I'm like, oh man, I'm stoked, right? I'm like, oh, we're talking about this. So it's a brother and a sister and a brother and a sister. And they basically like, hey, we're going door to door and we live. I'm like, do you got an Instagram? Do you got a text message I can text you? They're like, no, you come to, I don't know, 543 on this road and knock on the door and we got you. And so they're selling me, right? They're like, it's $15, it's $5 for a small dog, $10 for a medium dog, $15 for a big dog. And then if you got 2 dogs, we'll give you a discount on the second dog.
Oh, snap. How old are these kids?
Like 5 to, they can barely speak.
No kidding.
5 to 7.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay. So I'm just talking to them about their game and talking about the thing. I'm like, okay, I got 2 big dogs. What if I do 2 for 20? They're like, deal. And they're like, we're going to walk him. We're going to walk him for this long. We're going to give him water when he gets back, and then we're going to brush him, and then we'll deliver him to you. And I'm like, deal. Come back tomorrow at noon. I said, you got a watch? They're like, yep, I got a watch. It was like a Hello Kitty. All I had was the time on it. I'm like, that'll do. Tomorrow at noon. No kidding. These kids come back at noon the next day.
Damn.
And with their mom. And their mom's
okay.
like, so they were only supposed to go to the houses we knew that we were friends of. And I'm like, oh no, these kids went to every house. and I said, listen, I really appreciate this. I mean, you don't see this kind of stuff that much anymore. You know, the whole lemonade stands and hustling for yards and hustling for walk, like all that kind of, they hand wrote flyers and then like, I don't know what printer, but they like copied them.
Wow.
And I was like, I had to. So I gave him $20 and I was like, yes, go run. But that was
awesome.
That's how we did. You know, you hustled for $1, man.
You did.
You had it. And that created a value for money, of work. Yeah.
Life's very comfortable now for a lot of people. And I think it's this like natural adversity towards hard work or things that take time, right? Because we just live in such a instant society. Everything is just immediately at your fingertips. So when you
just handouts.
Exactly.
Just give me.
Just give it to me for free.
Because I deserve it.
Because I deserve it. Because I'm owed it. Yeah. And so it's not that, work for it. It's kind of a societal problem, I think, that I see for sure. But I do. I very much appreciate growing up when I did and because it allowed us we were at that perfect age, right? Like we're young enough that we can still take advantage of technology and utilize it for our benefit, but not get abused by it and totally taking advantage of it.
Because you know the flip side of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I think that's kind of an unfortunate for a younger generation is they don't always have they don't have the history of perception of the other side of it.
No.
You know?
And it's such a good babysitter. You know, like having iPads and iPhone, you know, it's like when you just need to get stuff done
slope.
and they're on their devices all the time. We were just talking about it today with my wife. I was like, I think we're just going to like cut these video game things for the summer and just, you know, have them do some other shit.
Do you have a backyard?
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah. Yeah. We got backyard. We got, you know, 4-wheeler, BB guns.
Bye.
Paintball guns.
What are they doing inside?
What generation are they? I don't even know. Gen lazy, whatever that.
That's on us as parents though.
I know. It totally is. Being a parent is a really that's a challenging task, especially as they get older. Like, you know, my oldest son's 16, my other one's 11, and now it's just like, you know, getting them out on the road driving, and that's a whole fucking nightmare too. And
up here, Jesus.
Oh my God, yeah.
Do they do jiu-jitsu?
They do. I started them when they were 5, and Tyler is now, he's like 185 pounds, like almost my height, 16-year-old.
He's a blue belt?
He's about to get his blue belt, but he's an orange belt technically, but he's tapped purple belts at our school. And,
no way.
And blue belts. My 16-year-old
Good thing he wasn't
son.
there today. We'd have been embarrassed.
It's the weirdest thing. Like,
Does he like it?
Loves it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Loves it. And when I left this other school, Silverback, we don't have a kids program, but a good friend of mine runs a school called Alpha Jiu-Jitsu that's like maybe 5 minutes from our school. Okay. And that's like our referral school for parents of Silverback who have kids.
Really?
To go.
So you don't do kids at Silverback?
We don't.
Wow.
It's you know, I think having kids there would change the dynamic. It's kind of cool having this sort of adult only. There's a little bit more nitty gritty. You know what I mean? It's and that's really been the bread and butter of that school.
But I know from a business standpoint, having a kids program at a jiu-jitsu school is...
It's huge. Should we expand, which I think we will? For example, if we had the building next to us, we could easily run a kids program over there because it's separate.
But you don't want to take from all the competitors and all the dudes that are really...
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we can't really have like it split in that current location. You know, it'd be a little weird. So we'd have to, you know, we have classes at 6 a.m. We have noon. We have, you know, all throughout the evening. So
you started your kids at what ages?
5.
Both at 5?
Yeah.
Does your youngest like it?
Yeah. Loves it. It's just now I'm kind of starting to work with him just like at our house in our dojo. And the plan is during the summer to get him back at Alpha.
When did you start Grayson Jackson?
Right around that time, 5 or 6. Yeah.
Was there pushback for either of you?
I got pushback, and I was checking with a lot of other parents, and they were giving out, you know, handouts, candy, money, whatever. I was like, man, I'm not into that. I'm not going to do that. So,
I don't feel comfortable.
Like bribing them?
Yeah, right. So for like
that's a bribe.
Yeah. So for like 2 years, mine went kicking and screaming. Even in my own school, my youngest was a huge dick. For like 2 years, he was an asshole. But you know, it went away. Now they don't mention it. They just go and they have a good time, and that's it. They know that they go to school, jiu-jitsu and church, and that's it.
Jackson, his oldest is going to be a little killer. He rolls just like him. It's hilarious.
It's a good.
He's cocky though too. He's super cocky.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
it's great. I mean, you know that like down the line they're going to thank us for putting them in. You know.
Next question. So how did they when they started 5, was there pushback?
No, there wasn't pushback. They were fine. I think it's really depends on each child and like their level of development and how early, you know, because we've had kids that come in at like 4 and then some that really aren't able to keep their attention until they're like 7 or 8. You know, every kid is kind of different. they were fine. I think probably because it was so entrenched in like our lifestyle and being around it, and it was just jiu-jitsu was always around the family and around me, and so
They were
maybe
naturally interested.
Yeah, like maybe they were more accepting of it. I mean, it's kind of one of those things. My oldest son Tyler also got to meet like a ton of people just by like default of like being around me. I got to meet like Kenny Florian and Randy Couture, and like he just from just being around
so
me
it's
and
kinda
being
cool.
in the thing. Yeah, so
Yeah.
he was totally digging it. So yeah, and now I was really worried about my kids for middle school, because middle school, that's always that time where kids are like assholes and they figure out how to be assholes like the most. And it's just everybody's kind of growing up, and you have those new kids and versus like the eighth graders. It's a weird dynamic. At least it was when I was, in at that time. And
Same for me.
he breezed through it, dude. They don't even, in fact, I asked him, I was like, do people even get bullied anymore? He's like, now they kind of just do it online, just kind of shaming you online. And so I'm like, when we bullied someone, you fucking bullied them to their face, you know?
Shove their head in the toilet.
Somewhere,
Like, your clothes are stupid.
Yeah, and you like said it, and now they're just like, creating fake accounts and just like heckling people online and
Trolls.
Chicken.
Yeah.
That's just chicken shit.
Oh, snowflake shit, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he breezed through it. I imagine now as a 16-year-old walking around, he's the youngest kid in our school, and he trains with all those guys and more every week. He's in the adult class. So he's rolling.
So he's confident. He's a confident 16-year-old.
He's a pretty confident 16-year-old, but not like in a bad way. But when he's on the mat, he's very, he you could tell like he knows what he's doing. It's a trip. It's so cool because I know that I look at what jiu-jitsu has done for my life personally and the people I've met and the places it's taken me. So not that everybody's going to experience maybe that level of it,
Bro,
but,
you know what I mean? 100%. I'm 40 years old. November will only be 3 years for me.
Yeah.
And already in less than 3 years, the people I've met and the community I've met through this is almost more than jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah. It's a trip.
So, you decided college was not for you.
Decided college wasn't for me. And
What'd you do?
I really spent a lot of time in the fitness industry. So I kind of started
that's right.
off,
Yeah, we're talking
personal trainer.
When you left college, were your parents like mad?
Yeah, they were kind of. I think they knew. I mean, I didn't breeze through school with like A's and B's. It was like.
So they're kind of like, he's not so smart.
You did what I thought you were gonna do. Yeah, yeah. Thanks. That was expensive.
He's peaked.
Yeah,
he's peaked.
I was like, I don't want to waste your guys' money on college anymore, so I'm not gonna go. And I just didn't. It wasn't. Retrospectively, when I got into real estate, it required a lot of staying, especially getting licensed in DC, Virginia, Maryland. There was a lot of staying. I really got into it. I was one of only 2 people in a class of like 20 that passed.
But taking classes when you're an adult, when you're more career focused and emotionally mature, is very different than being a teenager.
For sure.
I was a CD student. I think I had a 3.9 in my master's program.
Yeah.
Big difference.
Yep.
Like, I wanted to learn. I was craving that knowledge, and I enjoyed it. Undergrad, maybe not so much, but my master's program, very, very excited about it.
Yeah.
Huge difference.
A big one. I wish that I could have applied that back then, but I didn't really. It's hard.
It's not necessary.
When you don't even know why you're studying this.
That's it. Why am I doing this?
Why? Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't. There's no connect. It's kind of one of the philosophies I try to take with even parenting. My kids is when I talk to them about things that are important. I'm not just trying to say it and say, "Oh, do this because I'm telling you." I'm trying to show you the value of
that.
Why.
Is the most biggest cop-out statement a parent can ever make.
Yeah.
Because I said so.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're that shitty of a parent and a leader that you can't give your kid the reason why that it's important that they act right or they do a certain thing. That's just laziness.
Yeah.
Or he called you on your bluff, and there's no fucking reason for him to be doing the thing that you want him to do.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're trying to make that connection, so that they can understand. Like,
but if you give them that story and you tell them the why, they're going to be like, as an adult, they're going to be like, no, you don't do that because X, Y, and Z.
Exactly.
It could go from anything from like treating a woman the right way to, being a good friend.
Discipline to make your bed in the morning.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whatever. You know what I
Simple
mean?
little disciplines.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a difficult thing.
So, anyways, you
Kids.
just like talking to you guys.
Yeah. Fitness.
So fitness.
Got into it.
You quit. So what did you do first?
So
Personal training?
Yeah, I was a personal trainer, and lucky for me, the manager was just a raging alcoholic. And
Dope.
It's fantastic. So
Really
he
easy.
was not a good man at doing his job.
Really easy to shine.
He did. He made it really easy. Like just showing up, I was already ahead on point score, And he had like empty bottles of like, the little travel bottles. You had to open up his desk and there's just like bottles in there. And he was
Awesome.
trying to sleep
Who
with like
owned
the
this
front
place?
It was a guy named Rich, and he owned it, but the guy managing it was this other colorful gentleman, and he was just just a terrible human being. And so I said to him one day, or he came into me and asked me to be the general manager of the club and to run it, and I accepted, and I had was just married a few years out of being married, and so this was like
your current wife?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, 17 years this
congrats,
July.
man.
Thank you, man. And so I got that job, and that was like my like a big bump in pay, and so everything was good. But
How old were you at the time?
I was 28, something like that.
So not super young.
No.
Yeah.
I got married at 25, and
Okay.
so yeah, it was like 28, and great, but no work-life balance. Just kind of one of those jobs where you sort of work yourself into, the ground, and you can never depend on these hourly employees. And it was, it was a lot. It was very stressful. The guy ended up going bankrupt. He made us like run these sales to sell the equipment, and it was a whole kind of shit show towards the end.
Was that a fitness club around here?
It was a world gym around here, and after that, it was a
chain back in the day, wasn't it?
Yeah, World Gym is a chain. Yeah,
Yeah.
It was like a franchise that he owned like two of them here in Manassas, and they went under, and I ended up working as a health club consultant. So we would kind of go around all around the country, traveling and working with health clubs on talent acquisition, sales, and marketing. Because a lot of these club owners, they just didn't know how to run a health club, and they're usually hostage to their employees, and don't the first thing that happens, they cut back on marketing and their employees, and so it's just So we worked with them for a while, but that was a tough situation because the health clubs that needed our assistance the most couldn't afford to get us out there, and you can only help somebody so much over the phone without being there and seeing the culture and understanding the dynamics. So that became sort of an arduous thing of getting, on board to these health clubs. And one of our clients was a chain of health clubs in the DC, Virginia, Maryland area, and they offered me the a job to come on as a VP of their company because of the work that I did with them as a consultant. And so I accepted that, and that was the one that sold to Golds where I lost that $30,000.
So tell me that story.
Yeah. So
can you say that? Can you tell that story?
Yeah, for sure. So I basically got a call one night and working for this company where I was making.
How long had you been there?
At that point I had been there.
Both consulting and VP.
Yeah. So I think it was 3 years total time, like a half a year as a consultant and getting the gig as coming on and working with them. And mind you, I was like a golden boy of this company because they gave me, ridiculous commission pay scales based off of performance. And I told them I would hit it, and I did. And I don't think they expected that too. That's one of those nuances of fitness industry is like they give you these big goals and these big things, but then you hit it and they're like, well, we didn't want you to actually hit that. I don't want to actually pay you that money. So we're going to have to fire you instead. But yeah, they kind of went through and they were going to sell to Golds, and we didn't know. And so they started slowly just chopping off all of the high level management, taking them out of the clubs so that P&L looked much more attractive. And one night I got a call basically saying that I had two options. One was accept a low paying job within the company doing something where it was, I'm talking like a quarter of what I was making. Or I could just take $30,000 of a sort of payout and just quietly, as they said, walk away. And so I said, well, I just bought a house. I just had my second son at that time. And I was like, could I have 24 hours to think about this shitty decision that you've presented me with, And later that night, my folks came over and we were all sitting around the table, and I was holding my son on my lap and just, being open and honest about my feelings about the company. And my son at one point or another thought it would be a good idea to call the CFO of the company so that she could also be on the phone and listen to our conversation, because it's only right that she be there as well. And
thoughtful kid.
I thought so. So she got to hear 10 minutes of me talking colorfully about the company.
God, dude.
And I noticed, and I looked down and I just saw the name, and then I hung up the phone, and I was like, well, I pretty much felt like that money was gone. Like I felt it, in my heart. I was like, I think I'm going to lose that. And at 4:30 in the morning, something like that, I got a email from her basically saying, thanks, but we're no longer in need of your services. And as of, tomorrow, you're terminated, no longer with the company.
No money, no nothing.
That was it. No
Bye.
Money. Goodbye. And
you don't even get to come in and get your stuff.
No, man. And, after you go through enough of those corporate experiences where you're dumped on the sidelines, and especially because I'm a hardworking, passionate guy. I'm someone, I might not be perfect, but usually the things I do, I try to, put all into it. I try not to be a schlub. And, and with this, I was very proud of this because I had built a program in this company during a recession that was generating a lot of revenue. I had a lot of people under me that really appreciated the sales and marketing training that I did with them. It really helped them develop their careers and actually move into other positions to be more successful. So it was a lot of good things to it. So to just get that and just, one day you're on top, the next day you're not, was sobering experience to go through. And at my age, and
I had a similar experience.
You know what I'm saying?
It's liberating.
It makes you think.
Afterwards, initially you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
But then afterwards, once the dust settles, it does. I mean, I'll tell you mine when you finish.
Well, it was one of those things where I remember my mom talking to me, and I was walking around cocky, just like she said, well, don't get too, big in your britches. Like, you never know, things can happen. I was like, Mom, this place needs me.
Yeah, sure.
That's the biggest lie you could tell yourself is that, I was like, this company needs me. I'm generating all this revenue for them. Not even really playing out this acquisition scenario in my head of going from all to nothing. And I can't even blame them, right? Like, it's a business decision. Yeah. If somebody was like, hey, could I buy your company $40 million? Sure.
Like Twitter with Musk.
Exactly.
They had no choice.
It's all about the money.
They had no choice.
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
You take that money, son.
Yeah. And run with it.
Yep. And I did. And that was, and so you got kiboshed. And I realized that was when I was sort of done trying to.
You mentioned something at dinner because everybody's talking about, when you start a business or you start something like Epic Roll or you start something like what I started multiple things that I've started, or even, branching off on your own and going open your own gym, right? People look at it, they almost down talk you or try to talk you out of it because it's not safe. That you could just go get some job somewhere and get a W-2 and get a paycheck, and that's safe. But for those of us that have had those jobs, know that it's not. It's just as unsafe as anything else that you do.
And you'll never go back to it now.
Oh, once you get burned on a corporate job and you learn that you can make your own money, there ain't no going back. There ain't no going back. So I got uncontracted for a little while, and I worked. I was very fortunate, right? I got picked up. I was making I want to say 125 out of the Marine Corps. Like that was my base, 125 plus travel and plus overseas pay, which was ridiculous. It's like $1,500 a day when I was traveling and things like that. So we developed, kind of like what you did, we developed this program. Not me by myself. I spearheaded it, but I had a very, very smart team of people that I handpicked. I was fortunate enough to do that. To help me work this program and develop this process. Well, and it's not all their fault. I was definitely rough around the edges and fresh out of the military and going through my own transition. And, I was very this is the way it should be. And I didn't play well with brass up high. Like if they were doing something stupid, I would tell them this is stupid and I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to hear that. They just wanted me to say, okay, yes, sir. And then keep doing. Yeah. And I didn't do that. But anyways, I developed this program, and it was wildly successful. It was a training program on how to incorporate intelligence and operations and how to work together utilizing a software. And so we developed this tiered process of training and everything, and wildly successful, doing very good. I got a call one day by my lead of the contracting company I worked for. And he's like, hey, I really need to talk. I'm like, dude, listen, I've got 26 Marines in this office over here. I'm in the skiff, helping 3 guys overseas. Like, I'm tapped right now. I got to call you back. He's like, okay, it's important. Call me back. So I get a break. I leave. I go to the bathroom. I literally am taking a pee, and I call him on the cell phone because I got to get back in there. I'm like, hey, man, what's up? He's like, hey, bro, you're done. It's on a Monday.
Oh, shit. Not even a Friday.
On a Monday. And I was just like, that was my first realization of, like, regular civilian life. Like a year and a half in. Make it even worse. I worked so much that in December, I lost my PTO, which I thought it would carry over. And then I had planned to take a vacation to Hawaii in January. And the VP goes, well, we'll let you go in the hole. I lost like 30 days of PTO.
Jeez.
He's like, we'll let you go in the hole. So I went in the hole. I ended up having to pay it back when they fired me. It came out of my check. But they fired me in like February. So I went on vacation, and then they cut me. They cut my contract. Here's what makes it worse. One of my team guys, good friend of mine, Darren, he actually, when he left that job, he came and worked for me from one of my startups for like a couple years, and then went off on his own. He's down in Florida now. And but he calls me. He's like, hey, bro, I just want to let you know, the program we made, they're rolling it out to the entire company. So they took what we had created and made it like basically SOP for this like $1 billion company. And I was like, and that was the moment right then. Not that I got fired, that we had created something, that I spearheaded something that they were going to use at that large of an expansion.
Yep.
And it, you know, it's all legal. It's their IP, right? It's their stuff. I work for them, no big deal. And but I had these other job offers that I was going to go, that people were like, I was ready to get another job. But when that happened, I was like, if I can do that for someone else, I should be able to do that for myself.
Yep.
But that took, and I was like, this is what I literally thought. I was like, bro, this business I'm building, it's going to be $1 million business within a year.
I mean, wouldn't that be beautiful?
Wouldn't that be beautiful? I believe that, though, man. I believed it. My first business, I was like, I'm registered in this LLC. I got this idea. I'm going to go get investors.
Just Googling what to do as a millionaire.
And I really believed that in my heart, man. And needless that I know that it was going to take a decade to have some,
but
remnants of success.
That drive, though, is what led you to the next thing.
Of course. That's 100%.
Yeah.
That's 100%. And as shitty as that feeling is like grabbing a couple of things of my personal items in that office that I had built by literally my bare hands in that program and everything from scratch. That was like a shitty day, man. And I was like, dude, I've got 2 kids. I've got a wife. I got a house. I got all this stuff. I go like, what am I going to do? And when I got that call from Darren, I was like, I'm going to do it for myself.
Yeah.
I'm going to figure it out and do it for myself. And that was the start of the journey of sitting on this couch, man. Like that right there was the pivotal moment. We were talking about it earlier, how those things that feel like they're shitty, right? They're really bad. Like that happened at the dinner table and you get canned. You even lost it. Like, wouldn't it have been nice just to have an extra $30K and still walked?
I mean, it still would have sucked, but it'd been nicer. Yeah.
Right.
So
anyways, but it's like those pivotal moments, man, that changes your whole trajectory of life. And if that didn't happen, where would you be?
Yeah. Right.
That's what's crazy. Like if that hardship, if that bad thing didn't happen to you, would you be the man you are today? Would you have what you have today?
Definitely not. And I also felt like, it's not for everybody, this entrepreneur lifestyle thing.
Definitely not.
If I was my dad's a corporate guy through and through, loves the company, that gets taken care of. It's like a whole thing. I could never thrive in that environment, but that's what makes the world go round, right? Different structure, different folks. And so I think I felt through this process, when you're trying to be mindful and present about how your own feelings, and it's like you get up in the morning and you don't want to get up, and it's like, why don't you want to get up? Because you know what you're expecting, you know what your day is going to bring. But when you have a different mindset about what you're doing and you're following your passion, like through those corporate jobs, it led me to being more honest with myself and what interests me, and then doubling down on those things,
right,
which then in turn just made me a happier, more fulfilled person. So when I was going through those hardships and when I was struggling and failing, it didn't stop me from wanting to move forward, because I was passionate about what I was actually doing.
Yeah. And it sounds like you worked on yourself a lot.
For nonstop. It never stops. That's an evolution that I think that stops.
Is, because I'm about to launch this, we're building this mentorship program and we're taking names for it. And that is the one regret that I had, at least post-service. I was always trying to invest in like businesses or things to make more money. And what I should have been doing is investing in this guy and this and becoming smarter at this, and being smarter at marketing, and being smarter at like ad buying, and being smarter at copy, and being smarter at, designs and whatever it is. Mm-hmm. But just learning how to do all of that, because that right there would have made me 10 times more money than investing $5,000 into some bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt.
So I'm going to start doing that. So, okay. So your son called your CFO.
So my son screwed it up.
How old was he at the time?
Oh my God. How old was he? He was 3.
You can't even be mad at him.
No, 3, 4. I was like, what am I going to do? You grounded till you're 18. I don't know.
He's like, I don't even know why.
I don't know. Yeah, no.
Have a passcode for your phone,
dude. So many things. You know how many scenarios went through my head? All of them.
Put your phone away. Why is your phone at the dinner table?
All of the things. Like I'm probably like, here, hold this while I talk, because it'll keep you quiet. Yeah, what a valuable lesson that was. But again, things happen for a reason, and it's like it is what it is. And that was around the time when I was transitioning out of fitness, that I had that opportunity to go to Nashville and open up that restaurant. So it was kind of like.
So you ran that from afar?
No, we moved there.
Oh, you did. So you did have a break here.
Yeah. We moved to Nashville, and like I said, spent the first year renovating the restaurant and putting the menu together and the concept. I did all the logo and design and everything for it, and then we launched that, and it was great. But you just it got to a point where it was either buy a house and post up in Nashville and keep doing the restaurant life, or go back and while we were in Nashville, we sold our other home here. We were renting it out, but market was good, and we ended up selling it, and I made a decent chunk of money from that, and that actually was the financial cushion that allowed me to transition into real estate when I came back. So after we sold the restaurant and moved.
How long
back,
did you do the restaurant?
A couple of years.
Okay. Profitable?
Yeah. What was interesting though was the VRBO rental that we had there was way more profitable than the restaurant. I mean, bro, we killed it with that. You're talking within 2 months, 3 months, 2.5 months, we did like $60,000 in revenue in just rental.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Fucking, think about it though. We had this spot where it's right on 2nd Avenue, right off of Broadway. So when people would come, and this unit could house 10 to 12 people comfortably, So, and it was a nice place.
One house?
Yeah, like
multiple?
One upper level. Like
okay.
it had enough to, and you'd find people would come in there and we had blow up mattresses. They didn't even care. You know what I mean?
They just need a place to sleep.
They just want a place to sleep and crash, and proximity, so you're not like having to get a cab.
Were you close to the concert place?
Yeah. I mean, we were, literally smack downtown. So you had on Broadway, you had all of the restaurants that have all the music and everything like that. So it was just a ton.
Well, we did. I took my daughter to a 21 Pilots concert. We flew to Nashville.
Nice.
And then stayed in some like hostel thing downtown. But it was popping down there because that that stadium's down there, so people are always coming in for different.
Oh yeah, that's
so
the stadium where the God, what was our hockey team called?
Yes.
The Predators.
Yes, whatever. Yeah, where they do everything.
We used to have 4 seats right behind the glass at that.
Really?
Lexus Lounge seating. So all the
so yeah, that's so your VRBO was just like.
Oh, it was churning and burning, bro. It was great.
Yeah.
And the coolest part is that we had the whole ceiling was black. You know, it was like exposed industrial ceiling.
Yeah.
And we had a little spot in the corner that we didn't tell anybody about, but you take a broomstick, and there was this one little button that you couldn't even really see. But when you push the button with the broomstick, a staircase would come out of the ceiling up along the wall. And then you go up the stairs, and up on the roof, we put a jacuzzi.
But they didn't know about it?
Nobody knew about it. It was for us.
It was just for you guys.
Yeah. So like the New Year's Eve, we get a bunch of people go up there, and we were sitting right across from Titan Stadium. You know, particles from like the fireworks were falling. That's how close we were. And so I mean, I got the full Nashville experience. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. Really cool.
You saw that place too?
What?
The place in Nashville?
We actually were renting in Nashville.
Okay.
We were renting but then we sold the restaurant, and then like I said, we sold our house back here, so we moved back and looked for a house for a bit. Was doing the real estate thing, and then bought another one, and here we are.
So how long did it take you to get your real estate license? How were you making money during the
money that I sold from selling my house?
Oh, okay. So that was your cushion. How long did it take you?
It only took me, you know, they have like specific schooling that you can do, and I because I was gainfully unemployed, I was able to go to the school, you know, and get it done quick, and so a couple weeks. But then I got my Virginia, then I did DC, then I did Maryland, and so all in all, like about a year integration to get everything going.
Did you start with a I don't know what you call them, firm?
Yeah, like a brokerage.
There you go.
Yeah, I did. I started with Keller Williams, and it was a joke. They took like $10,000 of commission like the first month, and it's like a cult over there. It's crazy. So I ended up transitioning after a while to another brokerage, and my wife and I have our own team within the brokerage that we run together. And
is she a realtor as well?
Yeah. So that's
that
like
the MJ?
Yeah, the MJ Home Sales. Yeah. So I thought about growing a team, but you know, I have a lot of other things that I'm trying to do, and this is the foundation for us. This is my main gig, moneymaker. But you know, as we go to transition, I think over time we'll probably start turning that business eventually over to like some referral agents, so that I have a little bit more flexibility in the schedule, and you know, can build out a team a little bit more. So
how long are you doing real estate total?
Like about 8 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's great. I love it. It's stressful, you know, because you're always hustling. But like that's my life with everything. There's I'm never gonna be a desk job corporate guy. So this is just, you know, in my DNA.
Could you imagine that job? I would want to commit suicide.
I think it's your time. You know, like I don't want anybody telling me what I can do with my time.
Most valuable commodity.
It is.
Time.
And you can't get it back. And
no.
It's just, you know, so when I take my kids to school in the morning and pick them up, like that's valuable to me. That's the time that
if you got a break in your schedule, you want to do jiu-jitsu at 11 o'clock?
I want to fly to California and go to events and do, you know what I mean? It's
your life.
Exactly. And it's so short that I think, you know, people spend a tremendous amount of their time, you know, in jobs that they just don't like and aren't fulfilling. And it's a shame.
It's fear.
Yeah.
They're afraid. That's what it comes down to. And anybody that says, well, I'm not afraid, it's what did we say earlier? It's safety.
Yeah.
No, it's not. You're just afraid, and you have to look at yourself in the mirror and admit that. Like, I'm afraid to leave this job. I'm afraid to go off on my own. Afraid to do something.
Yeah.
But the thing is like, man, we're living in an age, even now, today, still living in an age where there's so much opportunity.
It's the most opportunistic time in the world ever.
I think so too.
Ever. Yeah. You could do whatever you want, you know.
And a lot of people don't want to do anything right now. No. So
isn't that the catch? So it's the most time to do things nobody wants to do shit.
All you have to do is show up. You're ahead of the game.
Yeah, no. It's
so you said, we were talking about something earlier with real estate, because you were saying it's going to pop. You thought it was going to pop.
Yeah.
But I was saying, and not like the 2008
Yes.
situation. That was a completely mortgage manipulation, right? Is basically how you can
They
say
were giving mortgages if you had a pulse.
Yeah, right. Of course, that's gonna fail. But so the way that the way that it's been explained to me, and what I've seen, especially in our area, because we're in the military area, that it won't pop because there's more demand for housing than there is housing. So I wanted to hear your thoughts on, because you had a different, not necessarily a different take, but an extra point to that.
Yeah, and that is true. Supply and demand. I mean, that's why houses, even around here, get snatched up quickly. But they've also been floating on really low interest rates. So as people start to go up to higher interest rates, 6-7%, the amount of buying power is going to go down a little bit. So I think there might be a higher demand for more of those like FHA $400,000 to maybe $600,000 homes, but there's a lot of people that weren't paying their mortgage. A lot. My brother-in-law was processing, working for a company where he processes those, and so we haven't seen that happen. We haven't seen the effect of that because for so long they weren't kicking people out. We were having 5 to 10 foreclosure HOA foreclosure, like court-ordered foreclosures per month coming through that we would work on prior to COVID, and then it just stopped completely. So when you see people, this past year, bro, has been nuts with real estate. I mean, the amount of offers that we would write and get turned down, and people offering $100,000 over asking price, and all. If you're going to be in that house for the next 20 years or 30 years, great. But if you're trying to get in and out within the next 3 to 5, anybody that's over leveraging that equity like that is going to have a really tough time, making that back. So I think what will happen is that the market will crash. You'll get a lot of people.
So when you say crash, what does that mean in this term, in this day and age?
In this, I mean that you're going to have a lot of people losing homes. You're going to have a lot of foreclosures.
Okay.
And so there'll be opportunities to pick up rentals.
So then the CMAs for areas are going to be, like, everything's going to go down. Naturally. But then, the real estate's cyclical. It's gonna go around, and unless something fundamentally about real estate changes in how it operates and how the economy works around it, I think it's going to kind of always be cyclical like this. And in our area in DC, because of the government, people are always coming and going. Yeah, it's kind of like our area. They just moved a whole nother unit. They just moved 1st Raider Battalion to the East Coast.
Yeah.
It's a whole unit. How much did they say it was? 4,000 people? 4,000 families? Something like that?
Wow.
Yeah, it was something crazy. I don't remember exactly. But it's like not just – it's to support people as well.
Yeah.
So it's quite a bit of people.
Yeah. The infrastructure where we're at is garbage.
Yeah, we can't really support it.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's houses going up everywhere. Everybody's – if you don't go into a house with at least $20,000, $30,000 over asking price, you ain't getting a home.
Oh, yeah. And it wasn't even that long ago that we would make offers for clients where, we're like, hey, here's our offer, but also you're going to pay $5,000 of our closing cost, and you're going to pay the pest inspection, and we're doing a home inspection. I mean, none of that. That's laughable now. You have to go in, pray to God that there's nobody with cash, pray to God that nobody has a better, loan. Getting rid of appraisals, getting rid of inspections, and it's hard as an agent when you are trying to give your clients sound advice to say, waive all of your inspections and all of your security and just, throw out a shit ton of money and buy a house. Yeah, completely.
How bad do you really want it?
Yeah, but when people really do want it, I'm very transparent. And so obviously I work for them. If they want me to make the offer, then I will.
So then, guys like yourself, me, Tyler, whatever, what would your advice be for buying a house? Like, buy now, keep buying, or like wait?
I think it depends on what your strategy is. If you're trying to
get rich, bitch.
Well, then if it's a portfolio building, then I would hold off. I would wait until the market tanks a little bit and then look to pick up some great rental properties. And I'm all for that. Like Grant Cardone, more swinging doors, the better. Kind of quadplex kind of. Here, if you buy a house that you're going to rent, you're looking at $300,000 plus $500,000 for like a small single family home. And if you're renting that out, because the interest rates were so low and everything was so well priced, it is really hard to get a mortgage on a house and then have a reasonable enough cash flow that it made sense to rent. Like everybody's cash flow value system is different. But if I have a single family home and I'm only making $150 a month cash flow, that's not worth the leverage of that much money. Whereas if I could get a rental and say I'm making $600 a month cash, then that to me is worth it. So it's trying to find those pockets and areas that have the low vacancy rates and low attrition and higher rent rolls, and look for opportunities in places where you can go in and do aesthetic upgrades to the homes to build equity and a little bit of value, so you can hopefully up the rent rolls. And so I'm always looking for something you can get at least 10% back on your money within the first year or two, because if not, you might as well play the stock market.
Yeah.
That's if you're not getting enough back, then historically the stock market's between 7 and 11% in the past 100 years. So you might as well just do that. You know what I mean? You don't have to do all the work.
But see, there's also the Airbnb factor too.
Yeah.
Because you can, like, we have a property that we manage on the beach in Surf City. I mean, it's like $4,000 a month, easy $4,000 a month.
That's all.
Which plays a different factor into like buying a place, renting it out, leasing.
You guys just manage it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're near it, then that's great. I think it's always smart for people to build in the property management fees into the overall business model, because the goal is to not have.
Was it like 20-30% is the?
It's
normal?
Actually around here it's way cheaper. Like you can get a property manager for 10 to 12% around here.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I have clients.
Is it because it's volume?
Yeah, I think a little bit. There's some areas in the Midwest where I have friends that got people as low as 6%.
I think that 20-30% is we're obviously in a vacation spot, like on the beach, right?
Yeah.
So like 20-30% is the norm. You get 20%, it's like that's ours. We take the 20%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's.
What were you gonna say, Tyler? Or you gonna ask a question?
Yeah. So when trying to maximize that equity that has been built over the last couple of years from COVID, how do you know? Is there any way to know when to
pull the trigger on it?
Yeah.
It's so strategy specific. Like I would sit down with somebody who I would have to understand maybe their full picture of like where they're trying to go, whether it's selling their house, getting money, and then using that to buy an investment property or to upgrade their home or whatever their, is that part of the exit strategy? Because for me, I bought my house in 2018 in October for $444,000. Almost 2 acres, 3-level home, like 3,400 square feet. And we've done our renovations to it. And before I even did the kitchen renovation and finished the basement, with an unfinished basement, all I had was the dojo finished.
Yeah.
It appraised for $634,000. So now it's probably closer to $700,000 because of the kitchen and basement stuff that I've done. And I'm faced with that, thing of going, man, I could sell and make money, but then I'm kind of in the same position as everybody else right now.
Yeah, it's great. If you have multiple properties, it's great to sell.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But if you have to buy another home.
And honestly, if I sold my house in Virginia, I'm like, I want to be moving down to Florida. Like, I don't want to sell here and then buy
Yeah, you're in the same boat.
Yeah. I'm comfortable. I think land is really the commodity, and I have a great piece of that. There's homes that are selling in Haymarket where we were, in little communities, $700,000, $800,000 homes where you could jump roof to roof.
It's crazy.
Like that.
Yeah, no thanks.
No thanks.
I told Sid, the CEO of Core Med, he's a mentor and business partner of mine as well. And I was like, so this is what I want, Sid. I want an acre on the beach, right on the beach, on the Gulf, that I can have like some goats and chickens, but it's also a beach house.
Nice.
And he goes, yeah, cool. This is what you need to do. Buy a time machine and go back 50 years.
Yeah.
Because that ain't existent. Or you're going to have to go overseas.
Yeah. Yeah. Full acre, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
No, it might not.
Yeah.
But I'll take just a place on the beach.
Yeah, take a place on the beach. All right, so talk to me about Epic Roll, man.
Yeah.
How long has this been going on?
About 3 years.
That's it.
Yeah. And when I found out about drop shipping, because I'm always looking for those, those multiple income streams, right? And when I found out about drop shipping, I thought maybe that would be a great revenue stream. And I started it as a women's clothing line, like reselling, white labeling like women's clothing. I had all these statistics and all these reasons of why this was a good decision and how much money they spend and all this kind of stuff. And I designed everything, launched it, and it was just like crickets. It was like just nothing. I got no response, nothing. It just was terrible.
Yeah.
And which was really frustrating because as a designer too,
they're so fickle.
Oh.
That's why women are so fickle when it comes to their. So we tried to do a women's line for Johnny Slicks. More headache than it was worth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's totally just absolute horrible headache.
Yeah.
Like great products. They were amazing. They were organic. They were good for you. Women didn't care.
Yeah. Yeah.
They wanted what they wanted and what they've been using forever.
Right.
And
they want a celebrity to sell it to them.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It didn't pan out. And I remember watching this one YouTube video about drop shipping, and one of the guys said, I think it's important that you are passionate about whatever you're selling and doing, which I thought was kind of strange because I'm like, people are drop shipping like dumb shit, like hangers or whatever from Amazon
are making
doing stupid, right? And they're just
making millions,
breaking it.
Yeah.
So I was like, do I really need to care? But I thought about it, and I came up with the name Epic Roll. And I was initially going to do like videos, just do some jiu-jitsu tutorial videos. And I made a logo because I thought, that was important. And
was it this one?
It was that. It was a little different of a version because I initially made them ranked so that the P had like a black belt or a brown belt or, what I mean? There was a little variation of it, but yeah. And I put it on a t-shirt, and I was like, oh, this is cool. I can make like a t-shirt. And I had all like the Choke Republic shirts and kind of all the other ones. And I just thought that most of the jiu-jitsu shirts at tournaments and stuff that I would see were just corny. Like they were too in your face, or they were very too
much like tap out, or or just not cool.
Yeah, not cool. And it was like doing the not. I always say this because I don't want to like offend anybody, but like the the Starbucks knockoff logos and the different logos where it's like the Coca-Cola with the jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I fucking have that shirt. But anyway, I thought that there definitely seemed to be space in the world of jiu-jitsu for another.
I mean, like, how did you come up with like? Were you like in the shower? Were you high? Were you?
Dude, I actually don't remember how the name, but I feel like what I had said a few times was we were done training, and I was like, oh, that was an epic roll. Like we had like an epic roll like that. And
so it kind of started to manifest.
It kind of did. It just sort of, kind of organically came. And I think after a while, it became one of those things where it was a brand that seemed to mesh well with everybody. Like it wasn't so aggressive and too in your face, women, kids. It's, there's certain brands that are it's like a big skull with a fucking knife through it. And it's like, this is my jiu-jitsu brand.
Every military guy's t-shirt that he signs. Yeah. Skull and knife.
So I take it you don't like the skull.
I don't know. It's not even that I mind it. It's just, I feel like it's like played out. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like
What'd you send him?
the new design for the gym with the skull on it.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking, there's nothing wrong with that.
I teed you up.
Yeah. It's all in the execution of the ultimate design.
Yeah,
and what the whole thing is too. You know what I mean? Like for this, I didn't necessarily go out of my way to appeal to other audiences, but it just sort of had that sort of vibe to it.
Where'd your artistic background come from?
I just was always drawing as a kid. Like
he was a weird band guy.
I thought you were strumming the guitar.
I was, but then when I wasn't doing that, I was drawing shit.
It's all the same shit.
Painting,
artistic.
drawing, photography,
left
all that
brain,
stuff.
right brain shit. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, I don't get that. I don't have any of that shit.
Me.
Yeah, it's not me.
Yeah, that's all I had. But so I just was always drawing and painting, and so which is cool because now I even with real estate, developing our real estate brand, our logo, like I got to apply these skills that I collectively got over the years at these different positions in corporate America now get to apply them now. So I think that also keeps it very dynamic and keeps me from getting bored, where it checks a lot of boxes. I get to do
the creative
design,
juices.
I get to do sales, I get to do marketing. So anyway, it started out as some t-shirts, and I kind of had those out there, and a couple of people that I was training with saw them and were like, oh, that's cool. can I get one? And I was like, sure. And I started to put just a few of the designs on, this website that I was previously a women's clothing line, and got rid of all that and started to put those. And then as I just put out, I come up with a design. I might be in the shower. I might be meditating. I might be going, and I have just notes of all different, things that'll just come to my mind. I'll put it down, and then later I'll kind of bring it to light.
Microdosing, whatever.
Whatever helps get the juices flowing. And so I kind of did that, and then people were
He
asking,
went to the DMT pyramid in
I asked for guidance.
Yes. What should I make?
From the spirit gods. Do a leg locker shirt. And so then it went to, people were like, hey, do you make rash guards, and do you make, shorts? And it slowly evolved to being the big pain in the ass that it is now.
That's so awesome, though. So let's rewind a little bit. Epic Roll got you kicked out of your academy.
Great story. Great story.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah, it did.
And you were there how long?
5 years.
And you started there at what belt?
Brown belt.
Oh, so you left as a brown belt too.
Yeah, but I was a brown belt for 5 years, which is not normal. You're not normally supposed to be a brown belt for. I mean, you can. Some people are. Joe Rogan was like a brown belt for like 13 years. Was
he really?
Yeah. Guy Ritchie was like another one.
You're fine.
I had friends that got their black belt where I said years ago, I was like, if that fucking guy gets his black belt before me, I'm gonna lose my shit. You know what I mean? Like, so.
How long have you been a brown belt?
I think it's been like 5-6 years.
Okay, so he knows what I'm talking about. It's the fucking, you know what I mean?
So how long were you actually a brown belt then?
Like 5 years
total. No, because you were a brown belt for a while here too.
I went to this school as a brown belt.
Mm-hmm.
I moved to that school because I was traveling so far to train at my other location. I couldn't do it anymore. I was running the gym. I was doing stuff. So when I found out that this school was opening up in my area, it was 10 minutes from my house, and they had a kids program. And a guy that I trained with 15 years ago was going there, and he's like, oh, bro, he saw me at the gym. He's like, oh, you got to come train with us. So I moved there just to keep doing jiu-jitsu because it was like,
and get your kids involved and
get my kids involved.
Yeah.
So I was a main instructor there, the highest ranked student there, and everything was going fine, Nick. Everything was going fine until it was no longer going fine. Epic Roll came about, and everybody was super supportive of it. It was cool. But then it started to take off more. So then what I found out later was that this guy was wanting to, after he saw what I was doing, he then wanted to try and start like a gi company that he could market and sell to his students, right? So that they would come in. Now, I want to say that I understand that, right?
I was going to say nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that because that's an ancillary service within your business. Makes sense. But he's not a designer, okay, at all. And so in that situation, if I had somebody who was, that he considered me a mentor, or somebody that he, talked to about business a lot, if I had somebody who was executing, something that was within that vein, that realm of what I'm doing, I'd say to them, hey, let's figure this out. Let's find something that works for both of us. Maybe I help him design it or whatever the case. Or also, I don't give a shit. Sell every gi and make every person buy whatever you want.
Yeah.
It shouldn't matter, right? But everybody wanted to wear Epic Roll. The kids, the parents were coming to him and they would say, oh, how do I get my Epic Roll gi? How do I do this, that?
Ouch.
So it became like a thing. And
yeah, his feelings hurt.
Big time. And he started being an asshole to me. I remember coming back from Florida one time. I was gone for a whole week. And he had the open mats at like 8:30 in the fucking morning on Saturday instead of like 11 like a normal school. And so, so
we got a bunch of old guys that do that,
dude. I'm like, I
don't go to that. I'm no, dude, I'm having waffles with my kids.
Yeah, I love jiu-jitsu, but just like take it easy. And so I show up there and I walk in like a half hour late. Mind you, it's supposed to be just open mat. And he's like teaching some people. And it's mostly like white belts and a couple blue belts. And I walk in and he stops class in the middle of the whole class. And he goes, hey, Matt, what's the name of that school down in Florida that you trained at? And I was like, oh, Elementum. And he's like, yeah, did you show up late for that class? It was just silent. And he just called me out in the middle of the whole thing. And I paused for a second and I'm thinking, I could be fucking at home with my family after being gone for an entire week, and I'm here to help you coach a bunch of fucking white belts, and you're going to call me out on a Saturday, bro? Like, really? You know what I mean? And that was the undertone that I started getting. This, you know, he's got that like bow to the belt, you know, fucking can't go train anywhere. Just like there are a lot of schools that carry that sort of old school philosophy, and this is no exception. So I started getting this vibe. I'm like, what the fuck? You know, what is he doing? And then one day got a text message, you know, kicking me out of the school. And shortly after that, he had a meeting with a bunch of people at the school and completely banned Epic Roll from anybody wearing anything Epic Roll at his gym, which, by the way, a lot of people spent a lot of money with my stuff. So now he said you can't wear Epic Roll at the gym.
Tell me that he subsequently had to close his gym.
Dude, his gym is just sitting there spinning wheels, small as shit. As he's not a businessman, and you know, and so it is what it is. On the flip side, though, that, you know, I was sacrificing my own progression in that school. I was teaching all the time. It was a small school. There was so many things.
But like getting canned, it still hurts initially.
It did. Because I cared a lot about the students there. I had a lot of kids. I had a lot of parents that were reaching out and like, we're so sad you're not there. You were my kid's favorite coach and da-da-da-da-da. Yeah. So I spent a lot of personal time there. So, of course, it stung a little bit. You know what I mean? But what came from that, I mean, I can't even describe. So it's one of those situations where, like anything else, you know, you got fired and now you have the best job of your life. You know what I mean? It's just those are the things that you have to go through in life.
But it's like, you know, and I think as you age, or not only as you age, but as you experience more of those hardships, right? And even in the moment, like I've gotten bad news before, like recently, and it doesn't affect me the same way.
Yeah.
It's like I get bad news, I'm like, it's probably a good thing.
It's interesting, right?
Yeah.
It is.
But 10 years ago, I'd be like devastated.
Yep.
It would be like a whole week-long process of me having to like grieve and process and like think about things and talk to my wife and talk to other people and, you know. But now I'm like, that's probably for the best.
I think as like entrepreneurs, because every day you're dealing with new challenges and it's just what happens, right? Like things don't always go as planned and you have to think on your feet and you have to be resourceful. And so I felt the same thing. I've noticed a difference where it's an initial gut feeling. Like when something happens, my initial reaction is that like gut, we're like, oh my God. And you just, you know, you process it and it just involuntarily happens. Yeah. And now that feeling isn't there. And so you feel like your emotional intelligence is just evolving and you're getting a little bit more, you know, able to it's not being delusional and not accepting what's going on, but it's being able to process it differently and interpret it and then be able to move on, right? Because it's crippling for us to take those things and just hide in a corner and, you know, sulk on the ground. Like, you know, no one's there to, you know, you got to pick your own ass up and go do what you got to do.
Exactly.
So yeah, I've noticed that too as years have gone on, is the ability to handle adversity with a lot more, you know,
poise.
Get the fuck out of here. You know,
that's freaky.
So it's a good word, right?
Exactly.
So okay, so you find Silverback Academy.
Yeah.
And then you meet Sean, and that's when the ass whoopings really began.
It is.
He's horrible. I know, like we're circling the wagon again, but Jesus,
he is a different
I hope he doesn't
level.
listen to this podcast.
I mean, he is something else, man. And it's, again, I feel very lucky to be there. There's so much to learn from him, and you could tell he's just passionate. You know, and
super nice guy.
Very nice guy, right?
Amazing nice guy, yeah.
Doesn't have any kids, not married. He was, but he's not married now. But so almost like selfishly,
Really
we're in that
likes his
Danaher
dog.
situation. Loves his dog.
Oh, I already noticed
It's the only thing he'll post is about his dog.
Yeah.
He loves his dog.
Okay. I don't know who this guy is, but I know he likes his dog. That's a good thing.
He is a dog man. He loves his dog for sure. But he very unassuming, and I remember seeing him at some parties. You know, I have some friends like at Silverback. There's a bunch of higher level guys that have congregated there over the past couple months and years, for similar reasons to mine, where you deal with a gym for a certain amount of time and then something happens, egos get involved and they peace out. And so we always call ourselves like the School of Misfits, because we have, you know, it's like everybody together. And I have people that I started with years ago that are there now, and So it's such an awesome situation. It makes me want to go
and he lets you put out Epic Roll up on the thing.
Literally, he was like, "Hey, you know what would be awesome is putting a 6-foot vinyl sticker of Epic Roll above all the other stickers in the gym." That was his idea, you know, like
looks good.
I had people be like, "Oh, so you're like an owner of the gym?" It's like, no, I'm just,
I'm a dude that just hangs out here.
Yeah, I just hang out here and just help promote it, and but I know Sean like really appreciates what I try to bring to the table with helping promote the business. I mean, when I left, 8 people came with me, and just pieced out of that gym, and I didn't ask them to come with me. I wasn't telling them like, "Hey, it's not like I'm teaching or I'm taking their money." But people that left and saw that situation. And
then you got promoted as well.
And then I got...
Just how long ago?
January 21st.
Congratulations.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I mean, being there with Tom and like in that whole
Tom
situation.
the Black got to promote you as well. That was freaking... How...
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I couldn't have painted it was supposed to happen years ago, and had it happened under those circumstances before, I'd be tied into that association, and what a terrible thing. So again, I felt like the universe self-corrected and put me on a different trajectory to be in a place where I'm more supported. And
I think so, sir.
Everything happens for a reason, right?
It does, and especially when you're not a piece of shit and you're a good human being, it tends to like work out. You don't burn bridges. You network. You do your thing, and life has a funny way of working out. So, to me, I was very grateful, and it's sort of what helped combat the bad feelings about that whole situation.
So now like it's just real estate and Epic Roll and jiu-jitsu.
And my bottle that I invented.
The bottle.
I got a bottle I invented.
Can we talk about it?
We can, yeah. Back when I had my first son, we had to bottle feed a lot.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of challenges with that. And we would carry around formula, containers of water, and all this stuff. And so when he's crying, I'm like making the bottle and shaking. Because when you mix baby formula, it only sits for like a couple of minutes.
Yeah, we've all done it. Yeah.
So so I was like, hey, there's got to be like something better out there that, fixes this process. And there wasn't. So I ended up designing a bottle that essentially lets you put water in the bottom, the formula in the top, and there's a separation chamber in the middle. So when you push these buttons and turn this opposite directions, almost like Parmesan cheese container on the inside, the lines up.
Shut the fuck up.
And allows just to fall in. You just shake it and then you're good to go.
Shut up.
Yeah. Yeah. So you can just like make
Bro,
them
do you know what I have to do on the plane?
Like all that other shit.
Like, can I get some hot water? Can I get some water?
Yep.
I got to mix the bottle.
Yep.
Every fucking 2 hours.
Get your little scoop like.
Yeah.
You spill it and shit. It's the worst. Yeah. And so
have you patented this?
Yeah, I have 2 fully granted utility patents.
Okay, I was gonna say, Mark, we're gonna have to edit all this shit out.
No. No, I did
this is genius, bro.
Yeah, I did the 2 patents in like 2008. It took like 3 years, and now we're actually launching the fitness bottle version of it first because,
for protein.
Yeah. So the challenge has been that in this case I flipped it. So now you have the protein. So you put your protein in the bottom. It's a functional water bottle on the top, and on the bottom you have your spot for pills or whatever else you want to do. And it's modular, so you can actually stack multiple protein containers or stuff on it and make it big, or small. As you're going through and developing these kind of things, you can only do 3D printing to get you to a certain point. Then you have to go to tooling and manufacturing.
That's where it gets expensive.
Fuck, bro.
Yeah.
$200,000 expensive just to make the 7 pieces to make this bottle. And it has what's called elastomeric overmolding, which is a rubberized seal that's adhered to the plastic chemically in the manufacturing process. Almost like the rubber on like a toothbrush, that you kind of hit your gums. That's elastomeric overmolding. So that's essentially the seal, the watertight seal that keeps the water.
You're a nerd.
A fucking big one.
Yeah.
I use words like elastomeric overmolding. Yeah, I know. Right?
It's all connecting. I'm like, and one thing and then another thing and another thing. I'm like, oh, he's just a nerd.
Yeah, big time.
Got it. Which I'm realizing there's a lot of nerds in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, this was, I'm not like an engineer. I just was like thinking, hey, how could this function? Yeah. So we've had to, every time we make a new iteration, the seal would fail after like 3 days or 4 days. And you really have to put these through extensive stress testing before you go to manufacturing, because once you do that, that's like a wrap if it's messed up.
Yeah.
So we are just in the fine tuning process of that, which I'm waiting to pull the trigger because the people that we have involved in this, and my business partner who's down in Florida, he, owns Punched Energy and BC Rich Guitars and Once Upon a Coconut Water, and has amazing connections. And so we have like celebrities and all kinds of people that are just on the bro side going to help, promote this. And everybody's like begging, they're like, when is this going to be out?
Yeah.
So I'm really, it's another patience game, and it makes me always think about James Dyson, the Dyson vacuum. Mm-hmm. He did 5,127 prototypes to get that vacuum, right?
No way.
It's a lot.
That's a lot of money.
A lot of money. But
now look at what that company is.
And this is the tough part is like how long, it costs money and putting in iterations, and you don't know what that perfect winning combination is to get it to work perfectly, but you go through the whole process. And so we're just going through that, and it's expensive, but it's also a product that we're talking about fitness and babies, and
evergreen.
I did a presentation for Johnson & Johnson once years ago about this because I was initially going to sell it, like trying to sell it to them. And the head of their like baby division thing came back and he's like, we don't really make like these type of products anymore. We make like lotions and powders and stuff because Playtex like outsold them on a bottle thing and they just kind of kiboshed their bottle making business.
Well, also because they're selling cancer and then they're also treating cancer.
They got to give you the cancer and then they got to sell you.
Did you listen to that podcast that I did?
About Johnson & Johnson? Yeah. That wasn't even the first I'd heard about that. There was a few that about the powder. What is it, like the talcum powder?
Well, also sunscreen. 40 in sunscreen. 40% of their profits from J&J's profits come from treating. Well, I don't know. Maybe post COVID.
Yeah,
it's probably something else. Yeah. But they're 40% of their profits was coming from chemo to treat the skin cancer that the sunscreen was causing.
It's business, isn't it?
That was the last podcast, wasn't it? That Johnny and I just did. Yeah. Anyways.
So they don't make that anymore. But they did say that that was they said you should sell this to a company that makes bottles because this is a $100 million company idea for sure. So it was.
They told you that.
Yeah,
They gave you the number. Holy shit.
100 million. Yeah. Well, you do the math on it. You look at like what the Snuggie blanket guy made 65, All-Star Products made 68
That's
million.
That's a badass product, though.
They stole it.
Did they really?
They stole it from a guy that made the Slanket, which was this kid in college, and he had his mom take a sleeping bag and sew sleeves onto it because he was really cold in college. His dorm room was cold. So he had his mom make the sleeping bag with sleeves, and that was the initial thing. And All-Star Products remade it, patented it, and sold it, and that guy got fucked.
Damn.
Yeah. All-Star Products.
Welcome to America.
That's it.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Like $68 million like in the first year. It's like for backwards robe,
That's what it is.
Fucking backwards robe. So I see these things and I'm like, money's out there. I just have to go and get it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's a fact, man. It's a fact.
There's opportunities. You just have to go after them. But all of these things, man, in my life, the motto has always just been patience. 16 years to get a black belt. Like, I've been working on this bottle for 14 years. This is like all of it. But and you get through moments where you question things. You question like, am I on the right path? Am I not? But I feel like
just forward, man.
Yeah, that's it.
You just keep executing, keep moving forward, and don't stop.
Yep.
The only difference between somebody who's successful and somebody who just failed is the person who failed quit. Right. I guess it's like jiu-jitsu.
Yep.
Difference in a black belt and a white belt, he forgot to quit.
Yep.
He just kept showing up.
Wait, I was gonna quit. What was I doing? I forgot to quit.
I forgot. That's it, man. You just kept showing up. 2 decades later, here we are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yep. Same thing with anything with making money or making success. The more that I don't quit, the more money I make every month, every year. 2 years goes by. I'm like, oh wow, we're making more money. Things are further along than they were before.
Yeah, and it's
because I just refuse to stop.
And you have to have the right mindset for all this stuff too. I try to really every day. I try to really protect my mindset with like the content that I consume, with like the things I spend my time doing and all of that, because I'm easily influenced. Like if I sit and watch something on TV that's like terribly like sad and depressing and shit, it's like why I don't watch a lot of shows, you know?
Because that artistic side of you.
Yeah, I get into it. I'm like,
it touches your heart right there. Look, you're wearing your heart on your thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. So I'm very like, you know, kind of careful about that stuff. And
for me, it's more, I don't get involved in that. I think it's more for distraction.
Yeah.
I want to focus on my own stuff.
Yeah.
I want to focus on my family and my businesses, my people, my tribe, and what I have going on. And when all those noise, it's meant to distract you.
Yeah.
It's like all these little videos and Instagram and all this kind of stuff. It's like, it just pulls you away from what I could be doing to better myself and my family and my people.
Yep.
You know, and that's why I don't, you know, not because I have a huge heart and I care. It's just distraction, man. It's just distraction.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, it is. I mean, those are the things I think people that aren't, you know, necessarily trying to build companies or products or brands, you know, might not need to think like that as much as we might, where, you know, I'm sitting there, if I'm watching something, I'm well aware of the fact that I could also be doing something that's better positioning me for the life that I want.
Like, what am I doing? What am I doing?
You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. So,
yeah. So my first Epic Roll shirt, Tyler body locked me, popped my rib.
Oh, it was you?
I was out. No, it wasn't him. It wasn't him. But somebody, I don't even remember who did. Do you remember who did that?
I can't remember now.
Yeah. It's probably Fred.
Probably.
Just blame Fred.
Just blame Fred. Yeah, I don't remember. Oh, it was Ben. It was Ben.
That's right.
He put his knee on me and grabbed my gi and just, yep. And that's what did it. And he was like, "Dummy, why don't you just push it off?" He's like, "Well, then he would be in side control." And he's like, I think he said, like, then your rib wouldn't be popped.
but he would have passed my guard. That's what he mean.
Yeah. But anyways, so then Allie, I don't know how she found it. I have to ask her.
I don't know either, but I want to know.
Yeah, I have to ask her. So she found the Neon Belly shirt. That was my first Epic. She bought that.
So dope.
It was that, and then I think I wore it for a podcast, and your brother-in-law saw it, right?
Yep.
And
he's like, "Hey, who's this guy?"
No. It was the 30-day challenge. I wore it during the 30-day challenge in one of the videos.
30-day challenge. That's right.
Yeah.
That's what you were saying.
I did 60 sessions in 30 days. It actually happened to be 62 because I got lost track and did an extra day, 2 sessions.
Hey, that's cool.
No.
Well, that's not cool. I mean, that's a lot.
It was horrible. It's funny. If you see the 2 photos, I was telling the guys in the gym, it looks like, you remember? I looked like somewhat normal.
Yeah.
And then by a week later, I looked like I had cancer.
Really?
Bro.
Just satiated and.
I told him about 18 days in he's gonna hit a wall.
I did.
Sure
You were 100%. You were 100% correct. Like, I even called it like the dark. Like, it went dark. Like it.
So you were just doing 2 a day?
2 a day.
I saw you a couple times. I wasn't sure you were gonna make it.
Yep. I was like, about that 18-day mark, I was like, seriously doubting that I could continue.
Yeah.
Because, you know, here's the thing. It's not like you doing two a days or him doing 2 a days for a month. I was a straight white belt.
Yeah.
I had just crested over a year, I think. I was like a year and 3 months or something like that. Year and 2 months. And so you're just fighting for your life all the time. You know what I mean? It's not like you can control what's happening and you have, you know, the technique to like kind of like what he does and like what Sean
just
does.
go through the motions.
Like he's like coaching somebody else while he's like destroying your neck. You know what I mean? Or chewing gum or, you know.
That's what he's doing.
I'm just dying.
Yeah.
But Liz, it's funny. It's like a week later. It's like my eyes were both black. My face was all sunken in. Like, it was horrible.
Not good.
It was not good. But so I wore that shirt during that one of that series. So if you guys are listening to this, there's a series called, I don't remember what the challenge was called. It's a playlist on my YouTube. You can go find it.
Nice.
But it was like 6 or 7 episodes. It was good.
That's awesome.
It was good. Yeah, 60 sessions. I think that actually helped my progression faster. Like, it's just so much.
Like immersion. You know what I
so
mean?
much immersion.
Yeah.
Yeah. It didn't really catch up with me. I took 2 weeks off. Dana Cash actually said, he's like, you're not going to remember shit. He's like, but if you stop, take a break. And we actually had luckily scheduled a vacation to Florida right after that. which I
nice.
needed, dude. I went and got in the water, and I just didn't do anything for like 10 days.
Yeah.
But then when I came back, it was like people were doing things to me, and I started remembering like how to move and everything. So it paid dividends.
That's awesome.
I've had a bunch of kids reach out and said, I'm going to try it. Nobody that I know has done it yet.
Really?
Nobody I know has done it. That I've reached out that has said, hey, I'm going to do this challenge. They usually stop around the 18-day mark is when they go, I'm out. I can't do it.
It's so tough. It's like the 75 hard. Have you ever done that?
No.
Yeah.
No.
My wife started it again today.
You do the Agoge 30-day challenge.
Yeah. I mean, I just, I think that
I've done that.
Have you?
Well, we built it.
Yeah. Oh, well,
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, we sell it. It's one of our things.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'll do the
30-day
30-day challenge.
Usually about 3 times a charm, right? Right, Tyler?
Something like that.
Yeah.
It's intense.
Yeah.
It's intense.
But it really comes down to discipline. It's incredible, like what you can really
all it
accomplish
is.
with that.
It's
That one
scheduling.
thing.
It's routine and scheduling.
Yeah.
You have to build. So for this 30 days, you're going to have a different routine.
Yep.
And this is your routine to get it done.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was my first Epic Roll shirt.
Yeah,
man. Now I'm in love with the brand.
I'm so glad. I
just found out. I didn't even know you had gis.
Oh yeah.
You got everything.
Got it all.
Yeah.
Working on spats and like compression shorts for women, and that's one of the challenges is putting stuff out. The nice part is as you're as the social media and your little tribes kind of grow, you can get more and more feedback from people. So we have a lot of success doing pre-sales with things where it's not leveraging as much purchase in the beginning and just sitting on inventory, and you can so that's helpful. But
how did you've got what's his name? Jiu-Jitsu?
Yeah.
McDojo?
Yeah.
Who else do you have?
Killcliff.
You have
Mason
a ton
Fowler.
of people with Epic Roll. And
Yeah.
all extensive purposes, you're not that big.
Yeah.
But you have some like big people involved.
Yeah. Yeah.
How?
I think it's honestly been just networking and meeting people.
And they're just like, this is cool. I'm down.
Yeah. Because, I don't, I come to people with a like give to get mindset. Like I'm not asking.
Give me.
Yeah. Like I've had people contact me and ask me to like review products, and they're like, yeah, we'll give you a good deal on the product, to review it. We'll give you like 50% off. And you can, I was like, what are you talking about? Like, no, you send it me for free, and I'll, but I'm not purchasing stuff, and when I reach out to people, if I'm trying to, connect with them, like I'll send them stuff. I'll say, hey, check this out. And the pitch that I usually give everybody is check this out. You don't have to post anything if you don't like it. If you do like it and you
like
feel
you do
compelled,
with me.
Yeah.
Now it's in all my podcasts. That's pretty much all. That's what I wear.
Jedi mind tricked you, and but I just get people to kind of if they organically like it and want to do it, then great. And most of the time, like I haven't had anybody go, I fucking hate your stuff. Like I don't like your stuff. Like I haven't run into that yet. So it's been really sort of well received, and I think being a good designer is like part of it, because when I'm talking to like Yuri and Mason and doing these projects with Killcliff and stuff, I have to bring a level of design to the table that's professional, and getting like Rob with McDojo Life really wants the McDojo Life brand to be in retail at one point. And so, when he first contacted me about working with him, he doesn't know retail. He doesn't know design stuff. He just has this huge following, and he's just got the influence. So I put like 6 or 8 designs together, like right out of the gates for him, like quality stuff. And
that's one of my favorite ones. Have you seen that one?
Which one?
I do superhero shit.
Yeah, right.
I love that.
Thank
Absolutely love that one.
Thank you. I thought you'd like the Gurkhas one too. It's the one that has the. You know who the Gurkhas are? These like I want to say Filipino. Like
I don't think I have that one.
I don't think you do, and it's the McDojo Life one. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
But it was one of the ones I did for him. I found out about these people, the Gurkhas, and they were like badass, like military guys, and they had like these kind of real like curved knives was their whole thing. And so it says like better to be a coward, or better to die than be a coward is like their little slogan. But that's been fun to kind of
I'm gonna take a pee.
Yeah, take a pee.
So you've got McDojo. Oh, you just do a couple podcasts too, right?
Yeah.
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 The Jiu-Jitsu.
What is this?
I'll tell you in a sec. Jiu-Jitsu, what is it? What's the podcast? Let's pimp them out. Pimp all your sponsors.
Jiu-Jitsu?
Or the people that you sponsor and people that...
Yeah, I mean, there's Jiu-Jitsu. There's the that Jiu-Jitsu podcast. McDojo Life. I mean, Kill Cliff. There's a bunch of them.
Awesome, man. So you send me stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you something. Oh. Do you have a knife? Burn it.
A lighter. How about I use...
Good luck.
Hold on. I got it. I'm going to use bottle cap.
I have actually no idea what's in here.
It's the best Christmas present ever.
I wonder if you even have any of this, Tyler.
Oh man, love stick. Oh, where'd you guys get these stickers? I dig those.
We'll share that information with you off the podcast.
Nice. Love that.
Proprietary information.
Yeah, proprietary, right?
Yeah. So this is
snap.
So you know about Johnny Slicks,
Of
obviously,
course.
right? Yeah. So all of our podcast gets an entire Johnny Slicks kit.
Man, that's
So which one is
awesome.
this? What did you get?
This is the
Shave soap.
shave soap.
Yeah.
Yep.
Your wife will like that too. Oh, dang.
Shave soap.
Yeah. So Allie used it. Beast Bar.
Beast Bar. Nice.
So actually, that's really good. So if you in a pinch, you don't want to use the shave soap.
Yeah.
You can take the bar. I don't know if Tyler's done this before. You can take the bar and rub it on your neck.
Yeah.
Like just straight on your neck, and it's got charcoal in there.
The Beast Wash.
The bar.
Oh, the bar.
The bar, and it'll exfoliate your neck, and then you shave, and dude, it's great. But the shave soap is number one.
Love it. Little lip balm.
Yep.
Never hurts.
Slick lips. And then
got a rugged body wash.
So the reason why that you're rugged is
Yeah.
because we've found that men over 30 prefer this scent.
Really?
Yes.
All right. Let me see.
Yeah.
Let's see what's going on here. Oh, it's very like what is that?
I have no idea.
It's
It's
like
on the
very
bottle.
fresh. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not the scientist involved in this. I just
Made
sell
it
it.
sound good.
Yeah.
Well, nice.
So rugged is a more, I don't know. I always say like more masculine scent.
Okay.
But Johnny says it the other way around. But I feel like original is the other one. So his I guess not genre, his demographic.
Yeah.
His demographic prefers original.
Okay.
He prefers original.
Okay.
And then the demographic over 30 prefers rugged. And we've got like massive amounts of data behind this.
I was gonna say, how much did you have to?
It took us a while, but
Yeah.
like once we started looking at orders over a period of a couple of years, it was like clear as day. And then we just started asking people. We started doing the whole like, smell this. What do you think?
Yeah.
How old are you? Boom. And it was like almost uncanny almost every time.
No kidding.
So now I just go, how old are you? What's your like grooming needs?
Yeah.
And then so in the black label, which I don't think we got you any black label. The black label, you'll like Omega. So if you're over 30, you like Omega.
Yeah.
If you're under 30, you like Alpha.
Yeah.
Weird.
I mean.
So the beard wash.
Yep.
Post jiu-jitsu. Wash.
Okay.
Antimicrobial, antibacterial.
Nice.
So I use that beard wash all over my body and head, anywhere it's exposed.
Okay.
To keep like staph and infections away.
Didn't they have like the same type of thing that was in like Head and Shoulders? Don't people use that, like something after jiu-jitsu?
Yes, because it has. What is the chemical? It's a chemical though.
Okay.
So we don't do any chemicals. This is all 100% organic.
Nice.
But yeah, there's a chemical in Head and Shoulders that does that too, but it's also a chemical.
Yeah.
And it dries your skin out.
Well, there.
Yeah. What is this?
Oh no, it feels like a small bottle of maybe a tincture.
Oh, a beard oil.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, can I oil this?
Yeah.
This is
100%.
not
As
too-
you should.
Okay, I should.
Yeah, as you
Okay,
should.
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't been, so I feel like I was slightly
No, you're
irresponsible.
Careful
Beard
though.
owner.
Are you got a vasectomy?
No.
Can you have kids?
Yeah. I should put all this back in the box.
Listen,
just the rugged shampoo?
I want to tell you. Fair warning. We have 12 confirmed pregnancies of people using Johnny Slicks.
Really?
Just from
12.
the aroma.
God.
12, like verified, contacted reviews.
Okay.
Of these people that like listen. One of the best reviews was this guy, and this is on the site, so you guys can go find the review. It's on the site. Literally, he goes. Actually, we read it in our Valentine's Day naughty review video reel that we did. He said this girl that he had like wanted to hook up with, and like she had been friend zoning him for like 2 years.
Yeah.
He bought Johnny Slicks, started wearing it. She smelt it. She commented on it. They went on a date that night, and then it led to other things.
No.
But yeah, dude.
You're making babies, bro.
Got him out. Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm making babies. Yeah, out of basically scents. I think he drops like some sort of weird pheromones in there, but
It may be.
nonetheless, yeah. So this is some pomade. It's probably rugged as well, I would imagine. We just.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's clay. Is that clay or
Clay pomade.
Yeah, so that's
Base?
more matte hair. Matte. Yeah, matte. More of a matte finish.
Okay.
Strong hold matte finish.
Nice.
Yeah.
I barely have my hair. I'm trying to hang on to it. You know what I mean?
So then you want to wash with that beard wash, and then you want to put a little bit of that beard oil in there. That is our thinning hair kit.
I need it because I'm thinning.
It stimulates the sebaceous gland.
You're a nerd too.
No, I'm just regurgitating what Johnny says.
I'm just telling you what the engineers told me. I don't know. And this is the organic oil-based
smell that.
pomade. Okay.
Smell that. Great for your knuckles and hands.
Yeah, that smells good.
I can't wait for your wife to smell all this, and then
man.
you
I'm gonna
mess
call
it,
you and be
and
like,
then
God damn it, Nick.
yeah, careful. I'm
now
serious,
I've got
man.
another kid. That smells really good. Is that the scent in a lot of them?
Yeah, it's all of them.
Yeah, I do like that. It's like slightly sweet, but that was a good one.
See,
It's a good one. I'd say that's pretty good. I like it. Love it, dude.
so that's it, man.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Johnny Slicks, bro.
Hell yeah.
And
I will tell everybody.
yeah, tell everybody.
Absolutely, I will.
That's quite the spread. So, anyways, hey man, dude. Well, thanks for hanging out, bro.
It's my pleasure,
We
man.
lost Tyler. I don't know. He's like, I'm out.
It's like I'm done.
It's late.
It's too fucking
It's
late.
long. I told him, I was like, we're leaving at this time. He's like, oh God. It was early this morning. Then we drove all here. There he is. You want to hop back on and say bye to everybody? But anyways, dude, it was like what a freaking rad day, man. What a great episode. And so where can people find you, where they can support you?
Yeah, so Epic Roll BJJ on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook.
Oh, you're on Twitter?
Well, I'm back on it. I hate Twitter, but I'm supported now.
Do you hate? I wonder why.
I'm on it now, boy. Yeah. No, I think that's amazing. But yeah, Twitter, Facebook, most of the time on Instagram.
You're spending most of the time on Instagram.
Yes, sir. So that's where they can find me.
And then the website's on Instagram.
Yeah, epicrollbjj.com.
Is there a code?
There are codes.
What's your code?
My code
Yeah.
for anybody,
No.
like my special code.
No. You're like, I guess, like general marketing code. Like you want a first order or something like that.
People use the Jiu-Jitsu one a lot.
Okay.
Jiu-Jitsu 15, I believe.
Oh, you're going out the gate with 15?
Yeah, I have some that are more than that,
No, you got to get your first one at 15. You can't.
I do have them at 15, but I
Yeah.
have, like, every once in a while we do like a little special,
Nah, man. Don't be getting deep
Don't
discounts. Don't be getting discounts on first
Anything
purchase.
above 15 is deep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do 15. That's your first purchase. Now, once you become a customer, a long-time customer,
Yeah.
that
Then we'll talk about
that
it.
AOV's gone up. You know what I mean? Your lifetime value's gone up. Then we'll give you a bigger discount.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
I
No,
like that.
make these fuckers buy something. Support
Make 'em work.
support an American entrepreneur, man. Come on.
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
So Instagram, Twitter.
Instagram, Facebook.
What if you need to buy a house in this area?
Well, if you need to buy a house, then you should go to mjhomesalesva.com and contact me. And DC, Virginia, Maryland can hook it up. Buy, sell, flip, invest.
Cool.
Absolutely. All
And then
of it.
pretty soon, baby bottles and protein shakers.
That's it.
I
That's
cannot
it.
wait
It's called
for
the
that.
one bottle.
The one bottle?
Yeah.
I cannot wait.
Yeah. I will be sending them to I just need to get those fuckers made and then we'll be good to go.
When are you coming to visit?
That's my next question.
Yeah, well,
Move your microphone up.
Let's
Can't hear you.
let's
There you go.
schedule that immediately. for sure. You know, you need to come to ADCC.
That's what he keeps saying.
Right?
No, I told him.
That could.
I'm buying the tickets. What the hell's he waiting on?
We could make some money off that.
All right, let's do it. I'll come to ADCC.
Nice.
We'll do some podcasting.
You heard it it's on here.
22, yeah.
It's been immortalized.
All right. What is it, September 15th?
17th.
17th. Yeah. All right. We'll do that. We'll do some podcasting and some video shooting.
Oh, boom.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
See?
We got him.
Cool.
We got it.
Done. I'm committed.
Yes. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. It's
It's going to be amazing.
Biggest one in history.
And there's one reason why I think it's going to be amazing.
Why?
What the 5 fingers say to the face?
Well, I mean, that's gonna be phenomenal. Can't wait for that. That alone.
What if it lasts like 25 seconds?
I know. I mean, I don't know. I think he's gonna toy with him a little bit just to make
Of course he does. He's a performer.
The first time I get you on the mat, I'm gonna fucking.
You think he brings? You think he has an envelope for him?
I would love to see it.
Be amazing.
I'd love to see it.
You're saying envelope? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that
Mark's
would just
saying
add
envelope.
insult to injury right there. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's.
I love it when he does that. I love
So
it when
funny.
he does that.
And didn't even write out triangle, just drew a triangle. You motherfucker. You know?
All right.
Gangster is that?
So we'll be hanging out, and then you got to come down to our neck of the woods when you get some time.
Yeah. I feel like we should schedule a little jiu-jitsu seminar. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, do that, and then we can jump on another podcast.
Yeah. We go out there and shoot some guns, you know?
I don't know where the hell we're gonna do that.
You don't shoot any guns?
In our communist state of North Carolina.
Yeah.
We have a weird area. Not to get off on another tangent.
There's that outdoor range, but it's kind of.
You have to shoot through a box.
Oh.
And if you there's no.
Is this a weird thing with guns in your state? I didn't know that.
In our area, for some reason, you wouldn't think so with the military and special operations, but there's no. That was my first business idea. Was a range.
Sounds like they could use one.
Yeah.
Dude, we have some badass ones here.
How did you feel at that then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Takes money.
I was too early. Anyways, well, guys, hey, listen. I want you to go follow Matt and everything he has going on. He's a great dude. You know my man Tyler, of course, the guy who beats me up and laughs at me. So other than that, hey guys, there's a lot of good information in here about being an entrepreneur. A lot of good information about real estate. Like that was great. That was a great little bit. We might just need to cut that out by itself. And then stuff about your greatest, I don't know, failures or greatest tragedies almost can turn into some of your greatest turning points in life.
Definitely did.
And it really is a perception thing. But it comes with time and experience. So screenshot this, tag all 3 of us, tag the Always Forward podcast. We'll share it out and share this with a friend. Leave us a review. Other than that, you know what the deal is. Never quit, never surrender. Always forward. We'll see you guys in the next podcast.
Matt, it was a pleasure,
guys.
brother.